Hi Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. Here's your horoscope for October 2024. I'm astrologer Joseph Anthony. All right, we're in eclipse season, and this is going to be the last eclipse of the year, and this is going to highlight the sign of Libra in your 11th house of future hopes, wishes, and dreams. But this is a very wild month, I'll be honest with you. So this reading is for anyone who has a Sagittarius rising or has a sun sign in Sagittarius. And this is a general tropical Western astrology reading using whole house systems. Again, it's very general because I don't have everybody's birthday and everyone's birth chart, and birthday is completely different. So I have to be very general. Anyway, this is going to be a wild ride. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been talking about how this fall season of 2024 going into 2025, the alignments are very challenging. There seems to be a lot of weird energy in the air, and this is the month that is going to activate all that energy. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, especially from the midway point of October going into the end of the month into November. So this is going to be a wild ride. No matter how you slice it, no matter who you are, you're going to be feeling it. And so I'm going to cover as much as I can here. Now we start off the month with your ruler Jupiter moving direct, but he will go retrograde this month. And that'll be at the beginning of the month, which means just going back and revisiting things from the past. But this time of the year with the sun going through Libra, this is a very social time for many of you, obviously. And so as we begin the month, right on the 2nd, we have this new moon solar eclipse coming in at 10 degrees of Libra, lighting up this 11th house. Now, that usually means a new opportunity, a new doorway for the next year to basically try something new. So the 11th house has to do with your future, hopes and wishes, acquaintances, networking, communities, charities. All of that stuff falls under this umbrella. So it's closely aligned to Mercury, so there's a lot of communication taking place here as we begin the month for many of you. And so maybe you're feeling like socializing a lot more. Maybe you're meeting some new people that are going to turn into acquaintances, and maybe they'll turn into friends. But this is going to be a little challenging because of the alignments that the new moon is making. The first one is to Mars in Cancer. So here we see 15 degrees, and this is going to be at 10 degrees of Libra. So we see a square between Mars and Libra. So this is a little friction. This is a little irritability. This is a little frustration that is on the table here during this eclipse. So right away we have that alignment. And so then we have another alignment right here to Saturn in Pisces. It's 14 degrees to 10 degrees. That's another alignment. That's called an inconjunct. And this is about confusion or uncertainty and unrealistic expectations. And it's in the 4th house of feelings and home and foundation. So you'll find yourself here at a crossroads where you have to go in a new direction with regards to either a family member or financial matter, or something to do with a move or real estate matters, or something to do, again, with family dynamics, because Mars is in Cancer, which is associated with family, but the 4th house is also associated with family. Okay, so we have this here making an alignment, this here making an alignment. So it's a very confusing time. It's a very uncertain time. And you're going to have to make a decision over the next 3 to 6 months about what direction you want to go in with this decision that you have to make. Now, there is some positive news during this solar eclipse, is that Venus, Mars, and Saturn will all be in an alignment. And this is what's called a grand trine, which is favorable. So which means that this energy is forcing you to make a decision, and then, it might work out better than you think, or you have to rely on other people to help you with this decision making, you see. So this is going to be quite an interesting one. Now, there is the outside possibility of financial matters on the table. This month, a lot of stuff is going on with the financial system. I think it's going to be the markets, the stock market, or news coming out of the political theater. And so we know in the United States it's election season here, so it's going to be really chaotic or weird. That's the kind of energy a lot of us astrologers are looking at for this November election, but it really starts in October. So do the best you can is my suggestion, okay? Now, Jupiter will go retrograde in Gemini on the 9th, right there. There it is in stationary position. Now, no big deal really, but going back in Gemini, in your 7th house, this has a lot to do with the past. And so over the course of the next 4 months or so, 4.5 months, all the way till February, I believe February 2025, Jupiter will be retrograde in the 7th house. And so you're revisiting the past and you're dealing with situations from the past that involve other people. And so that's not nothing that you can't handle. And so, it's just a slowdown of needing to reconsider and revise plans that involve other people. And that's how you have to look at it. And so that's not that big of a deal. Now, on the plus side, Pluto goes direct on the 11th, right there. There it is in stationary position in your 2nd house. And it'll be there for the last time in our lifetime before it moves into the 3rd house, into Aquarius on November the 19th. But the problem this month, and this is where we get into this really weird, funky energy that's coming in, is that Pluto may be going direct, but it's going to run right into Mercury and then the Sun, and then there's a couple of alignments between Venus and Uranus. And then at the end of the month, we have another alignment coming in with Venus and Saturn. We have some really tricky energy. And then the icing on the cake, if we look up here, Mars is starting to move and make an opposition to Pluto, which usually represents conflict, violence, could be anything to do with military or governmental problems. And this is all coming right around the election, around November the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, when Mars will be opposing Pluto. So you could see how this energy is just starting to build in just this weird way. So anyway, Pluto going direct is going to bring a little bit of clarity anyway for a short period of time, because on the 13th, Mercury will be squaring Pluto. There it is right there. And so it's in Libra. So be careful about misunderstandings and confusion around this time. Okay, because Mercury is communication in Libra, squaring powerful Pluto in Capricorn. So there could be some disagreements with an organization, a friend, over money matters, or a situation that might be involving healthcare too, because the 6th house gets activated, and so there's the 12th house, and that's the following day. Venus will oppose Uranus at 14 on the 14th. So here we have Venus at 26, Uranus at 26, and so we're seeing very much a strong push and pull filled with surprises and a lot of passion. And at the same time, the Sun at 21 degrees is squaring Mars at 21 degrees. This is very volatile energy, friends. Okay, so I'm not trying to be negative here or pessimistic, but if you could see what I see, you see that the energy is so disruptive, and we're all going to be feeling it. And so you may be dealing with issues revolving an organization, acquaintance, friendship, or financial matter. And you're going to be dealing with that. And whether it's a family member, a friend, a pet, whatever it is in your personal situation. Again, I'm being very general here. Now, the full moon on the 17th doesn't help much either. The full moon is going to be here in the 5th house, and it's going to be at 24 degrees of Aries, and it's going to be opposing the Sun at 24 degrees. Now, right away, we have this push and pull between partnerships and self-interest going back and forth. If that's not tough enough, let's look at some of the other alignments. We have Mars squaring the moon, Mars squaring the Sun, and they're both squaring Pluto. So we have another giant cross, or a grand cross, right across this full moon. This is very disruptive energy. This is very chaotic energy. This is very strong energy that'll force us to change in some way. My concern is that because it's in Aries, it could be something to do with military, government, anything involving controlling agencies, like some war breaks out somewhere. I mean, this is the kind of crazy energy that we're seeing here. And all of us astrologers are going, whoa, what the heck's coming our way? So for you guys, at least you have a heads up here. This could have something to do with your children, your loved ones. Financial matters could be they close the banks, or, the markets. I've been talking about this for a while. So, and we'll all be scratching our heads, and we'll all be, kind of, if that happens, and I hope it doesn't, but this is the kind of energy that we're seeing here. Now, Venus enters Sagittarius on the 18th, right there in your 1st house of identity and self. This helps a little bit. You start to realize, okay, let's figure this out. Let's make this happen. Let's work things out. And so Venus in Libra, for the next 5.5 weeks or so will be beneficial for many of you. But that doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet. It just means that you're focusing on yourself and you're trying to be a good mediator, and you're trying to get along with everyone and make nice with everyone. That's what it really means, which could benefit you greatly. But there's other stuff going on, as I'm going to show you right now, that just gets weirder because the sun will square Pluto. There's the other one on the 21st. There it is at 28 degrees, and later on in the afternoon, the sun will go into 29 degrees, and it'll square Pluto. So here we have another alignment, and this one is about ego, and this is about, again, that same organization or partnership or friendship that can be challenging. And the reason this is because now Mars has gotten closer and closer to the opposition with Pluto. Okay, so now we see another giant T-square happening here between Mars and Pluto and the sun. So this is a very volatile time for all of us, and so we'll have to see how it plays itself out. But it is very tricky. But this has to do with financial matters. Both houses, the 2nd and the 8th, represent financial matters, and the 11th represents the future. It represents things like community, in charities and organizations. And of course, the sign of Libra represents partnerships of all kinds, but it also could represent legal matters. So, depending on your own personal situation, these are all being highlighted right now. Now, the sun enters Scorpio on the 23rd right there. And this is usually a time of the year where many of you who have Sag rising or Sag sun will go into a deeper sort of withdrawing mode. Okay, many of you go into a withdrawal mode and trying to figure things out, because the sun and Mercury in the 12th house is, I want to go hide out. I don't want to be around people. I just want my privacy. I just want to enjoy myself and be left alone. That's the kind of energy the 12th house is. It's a spiritual house. It's a mystical house where we have to retreat and align within ourselves. And so this could be a time where you start aligning within yourself, given the alignments that are occurring here this month that seem to be really, tricky. So anyway, and then the month likes to leave us with more, not stress, but another stressful alignment between Venus and Saturn. Now, Venus is going to be in your 1st house, and it's going to be squaring Saturn in your 4th house. So you're dealing with family dynamics or feelings once again. And so this is going to be on the table. So this entire month, you can see what I'm seeing here, friends, that it is a very volatile month. And then, of course, look at Mars. Mars is at 27. We're leaving the end of October in this really tough alignment between Mars and Pluto. So I'm predicting, if you follow my other videos, the New Moon Outlook and my update videos, you know what I'm talking about, is this is a very tricky time for everyone. And this is like war. This is conflict. This is military intervention. This is, something major that occurs that just takes our attention. And that's what I'm seeing here. Okay, so this is really going to happen and affect everyone, not just you folks who are Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. So let's just stay optimistic and, do the best we can and get through it. Okay, Sagittarius? If you need a little support, join my free community. There are like-minded souls in there that understand what's going on. And, you could interact and comment. And, of course, there's more real news in there because it's unfiltered. And, we don't have the social media platforms regulating anything in there. Okay? So, anyway, I left the link down below. Do the best you can, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.